Okay, so let's show you how you can set Zahara up so that documents from Zahara go into FileDirector automatically. So when we say automatically, we mean as part of a workflow. So head into your division and go find the workflow you want to work on. So I'm going to show you my invoices workflow here, which is a genuine one. And you can see we have me to approve, export to 0, and then we export it into FileDirector. So if I click into this, and we take a look at it, we come down to the third step. So we've called it export to FileDirector. It's not conditional. We've chosen FileDirector version 3.1, which is the latest according to Zahara. The first thing you need is the URL. So it is this, https cloud.filedirector.co.uk. Then you need your username and password. So that's fairly straightforward. So the first thing you need to get these mappings underway is your cabinet ID and a document type ID. So if you head to your file director and to your enterprise manager, and you right click on your cabinet down here and go to settings, you will get the ID that we need, which is the 387 value down here. You don't need the FD underscore, just need the 387. So if we go back to our screen here, the first thing you want is that cabinet ID. The second thing you need is the document type ID. Head back to your, head into your document types. Now I'm trying to put that into purchase invoices. So if I right click on that and go settings, then the value I've got down there is the 942D F figure. So if I pop that back up, that's the one I've put in there. I've ticked these two things. Approver, you don't need to worry about that. So the next thing we've got is the mappings of fields. So these are the Zahara values that I can pass in. And if you look at that, I can add in any values I want. I've got all of these available. So to put an invoice into FileDirector from Zahara, I've got the supplier name, the invoice number, date created, gross amount, business name, like my entity. So that's all good. But on the right hand side, I've got IDs. Where am I going to get those IDs from? So the very first field is the supplier name. So if we head back to FileDirector, click cancel, go up here into fields. And if we page down to our supplier field, so I've got one here. If I click the settings of that, the value I've got is EAA51DCD. Again, click that. That is the field value I've used. So copy and paste that into place. What I would say to you is that just make sure that the length of the fields that you've created up here and the type, so we've got any characters, numbers, dates, they are corresponding types. There's no point us trying to pass a kind of bunch of text into a numbers field in FileDirector. So the field types have to correspond. So if you then do that for all of your fields that you want to map, go and find the corresponding values in FileDirector, you should be able to complete this screen here. What I would suggest you do is once you've completed it is update it and then click on test connection. Once you click test connection, you should get a positive value back like connected successfully. If you get anything other than that, then you've got a problem and it's not going to work. So make sure you get that right. So once that workflow is saved, it will kind of do its job. So in this case, it will send it out for approval if it's more than 5,000 to me. It will export the invoice into 0, and then it's going to export the PDF of the invoice into FileDirector from Zahara. Now, similarly, if you wanted to put a copy of your purchase order PDF in, you can do that as well. You would do that as a workflow step. So for example, if we went to larger orders as a workflow, we've got here, I've got 2 steps, me to approve, email, purchase order for the supplier. So if I wanted to put a FileDirector step in, export to FD, I could then choose that step as FileDirector check-in, add new step, and then I would be presented with the bunch of fields that I had a moment ago, and then I can obviously do all my field mappings down here, and then go and get the kind of corresponding field values or IDs from FileDirector. So that's effectively it. And once those workflows run, they will then start checking the documents into FileDirector as part of the process. So I hope that's been helpful.